Well, happy Veterans Day to veterans and families all across the Tampa Bay area. On behalf of our patriotic Tampa Bay community, we are grateful for your service and your sacrifice. On this Veterans Day, I want to recognize the service and life of Tampa's happy warrior, Roy Weatherford. He's a Vietnam veteran and longtime educator who passed away this year, and I have entered a tribute to Roy in the congressional record. I rise today in admiration to honor the life and unselfish work of a happy warrior, Roy Weatherford. Roy's dedication to justice, equality, peace, and workers' rights is worthy of recognition. Roy's significant contributions are rooted in his humble background. Raised in rural Arkansas with no electricity, education was always a top value for his family. While studying at Arkansas Technical University, he not only met his partner for life, Doris, but he found his causes for life, standing up for working people and against injustice. Roy saw firsthand the injustices of the Jim Crow era and was inspired by his professors to forego his studies in math and physics in favor of philosophy. And when the administration fired those professors, Roy stood up on their behalf in a scene that would be repeated often in Roy's career. Roy and his friends rallied and circulated petitions to show support for their beloved professors. He never quit fighting from those days forward. Roy graduated at the top of his class in 1964 and took a fellowship at Harvard University. A year later, he joined the Army as a cryptanalyst, just as the war in Vietnam was escalating. While he was in the Army on assignment near the Pentagon, he and Doris were married. And then Roy returned to Harvard. Always a brilliant student, his master's thesis won the Bechtel Prize in Philosophy, and he graduated with honors in 1972. Roy and Doris moved to Tampa, and he joined the emerging University of South Florida. Although he, of course, had other options, Roy felt that he could make a bigger impact on people's lives at a small upstart school like USF rather than more established colleges or universities in the Northeast. Roy observed that in Massachusetts and even Arkansas, community leaders typically come from powerful families. Roy said in Florida, anybody who's willing to work can make a difference. New England's loss was Florida's gain, and through his hard work, he proved his adage. Just 2 years after landing in Tampa, Roy was named the chair for the USF chapter of United Faculty of Florida. It's a perfect fit for his energy and his ability and his conscience. He fought tirelessly to get more local control for unions and more resources for faculty and students. He put a face on the faculty, and he made their needs real. After being elected union president in 2001, Roy worked until the union was saved. Typically, he went against the grain of the political landscape of the day, which was seeking to decertify unions. His efforts pressed those at the top to continue to recognize the faculty's right to come together. And when bargaining began locally for the first time, Roy's astuteness, passion, and commitment resulted in not only a contract, but one that included raises for faculty. He lobbied the state government to pass sweeping transformational laws, including Florida's exceptional government in the Sunshine Law. And he often worked on local and state committees focused on education and workers' rights. Roy set the precedent for how USF and other university administrators work with educators, professors, and organized labor. By the time of his retirement, union membership had doubled. Indeed, many of USF's and UFF and organized labor's successes in Florida came because of Roy's advocacy. As a scholar, he wrote enthusiastically on world peace. He was a loving and tireless advocate, and Roy and Doris were active in many campaigns and causes and spent countless hours marching in support of civil rights and women's rights. In Doris's words, he was concerned and passionate and principled. So on behalf of our patriotic Tampa Bay community and our great country, I'm proud to honor Roy Weatherford for his lifelong service and dedication to working people, justice, and progress. Like many veterans, Roy showed us what service is all about. Above self, passion, empathy, and he demonstrated what action truly looks like. So thanks to all of our veterans who selflessly served our nation. If you are a veteran, please do not ever hesitate to contact my office to ensure that you receive the benefits that you have earned. And if you're a Vietnam era veteran, we would like to honor you with the Vietnam commemoration and pin. So please contact my office if you know a Vietnam era veteran that is worthy of recognition. Thanks, everybody, and have a wonderful Veterans Day.